Alrighty, boys and girls, here we go. Section 3.4, day 1. Describe the graph of the equation ax plus by equals c. Something you need to know. This is called standard form. That's the standard form of the equation. The x and the y are on both sides. A and b are the coefficients on the x and the y. C is over here by itself. C is a constant. When it's written like this, everything's a whole number. Usually A is positive, but that's a standard form of an equation. When we see an equation in standard form, we're going to learn a way and a method for graphing that equation, and that's what we're doing today. So before we get into that, we need to get into this. Make sure you're writing all this in your notes. Horizontal and vertical lines. So, horizontal line, horizontal like the horizon goes across like this. That's a horizontal line like the horizon. Horizontal lines have this equation format. Y equals, in the lowercase b, just means any number. So if you see y equal a number, that is a horizontal equation, straight, flat, across every time. Okay? The opposite of that, or the converse of that, is if you see x equal to a number, any number, that is a vertical line. Again, make sure you're getting all this stuff written in your notes. Y equal a number, horizontal line, goes across like the horizon. X equal to some number is a vertical line. Vertical line, we talked about the vertical line test. This is a vertical line. A couple of other things important that you need to know. A horizontal line will pass through this point, 0, b. So whatever b is, it goes through that point. So if you have y equals 3, it's going to go through 0, 3. If you have y equals negative 7, it's going to go through 0, negative 7. Then it's a horizontal line across that. This right here is going to lead to the rest of this conversation. This would be the y-intercept. Okay, so this right here passes through the point 0, b. This is the y-intercept is equal to that number. Also, if you have a vertical line straight up and down, it's going to pass through something on the x-axis, and this point is the x-intercept. So, it says graph y equals 4 and x equals negative 2. So I don't have graphs, so I'm going to sketch a rough graph up here for the first one. Sketch yourself a rough graph. Y equals 4. Is that a horizontal line or a vertical line? Well, hopefully you remember, because we just talked about it. This is a horizontal line, so it's a line that goes this way. Where is it going to go through? At positive 4. So this is a horizontal line at positive 4. That's all there is to it. Again, you need to be sketching this in your notes. So here, this problem was y equals 4. This problem is x equals negative 2. X equals negative 2. Is that a horizontal line or a vertical line? Again, just talked about it in our notes. If you don't look back, that is a vertical line at negative 2. So we go to negative 2 on the x-axis and draw ourselves a vertical line. There you go. Horizontal lines, vertical lines. Y equals horizontal, x equals vertical. Do these two in your notes. not done, finish up, but we're gonna go through the answers here. Y equals negative 2.5, so that is a horizontal line. I go down 2.5. Nobody said they had to be whole numbers. It's just y equals negative 2.5. So I go down 2.5, and I put my horizontal line right there at negative 2.5. X equals 5. Vertical line, go to positive 5, draw a vertical line. Questions, comments, issues, let me know. Now for the meat and potatoes of today's notes, get this written down. Graph using intercepts to graph equations. So the x-intercept of a graph is the coordinate where the point crosses the y-axis. It occurs when y equals 0. Make sure you get this written down. The x-intercept occurs when y equals 0. Conversely, the y-intercept of the graph is the y-coordinate of the point where the graph crosses the x-axis. It occurs when x equals 0. So, if I look at any line, if I find the x-intercept, the y is always 0. If I find the y-intercept, the x is always 0. So, if we want to find an intercept, we use that information to our advantage. What does that mean? Well, to find the x-intercept, let y equal 0, solve for x. Write this down. To find the y-intercept, let x equal 0, solve for y. I'll pause if we need to. Get this written down. So, the equation says 3x plus 4y equals 12. I need to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. You gotta find both of them. So, if the x-intercept, what do I know about y? Correct, y is 0. So I take my equation and I substitute. 0 in for y. Solve for x. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, so I have 3x equals 12. Divide both sides, I get 4. So the x-intercept is 4, 0. That's half the battle. Now, I do the same thing for the y-intercept. What do I know about the y-intercept? X equals 0. So I go back to the original equation and I substitute 0 for x. Solve for y. Well, 3 times 0 is 0. Divide. So my y-intercept is 3, 0, 3. Now I need to graph that. This is not horizontal and vertical. These are not lines. These are two distinct points. So sketch a rough graph. Not too rough. I have the x-intercept at 4, 0. I have the y-intercept at 0, 3. So my line is right there. A couple of things. It won't always just be the other number in the problem. Okay, it just so happens here. You can't just look at the other one. Okay, it doesn't work like that. X-intercept, 0 for y, solve. Y-intercept, 0 for x, solve. Graph your 2 points, draw the line between them. That's how you graph using intercepts. Let's do it again. So, write this a little bigger. 2x minus y equals 4, x-intercept. X-intercept, put 0 in for y, solve. X is 2. Y-intercept, put 0 in for x, solve. Don't forget to divide by the -1 coefficient here. Y is -4. That's my y-intercept. And I graph. X-intercept is at 2. Y-intercept is at -4. And I draw the line between them. That's how you graph using your intercepts. Let's talk a little bit about some word problems here. So this problem says, I'll zoom in for you, but it says you're planning an awards banquet, you need to rent tables to seat 180 people. Tables come in 2 sizes. So the equation is 6x plus 10y equals 180. Graph the equation, interpret the intercepts. So if I want to find the x-intercept, put 0 in for what? Y. Y-intercept, put 0 in for good. So I have my 2 points, all right? Graph the equation. Get rid of this real quick. Give myself a little room here. I don't need the whole graph. I just need the upper right corner. The x-intercept is 30, so let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The y-intercept is 18. 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's about right there. There's my line. What does that mean? Well, remember here, my x and my y were tables. It says in the word problem where x is the small tables and y is the large tables. So again, remember this has meaning to us. So what do these numbers mean? Well, it means in order to seat all my guests, I could have 30 small tables and 0 large tables. Or I could have 0 small tables and 18 large tables. Are there any other possible combinations that you can come up with that would satisfy this equation? So again, the equation was 6x plus 10y equals 180. Are there any other possible solutions, anything else that would fit this scenario to seat all my guests? And we'll leave it right there for today. We'll bring it up on day 2 tomorrow.